And what is good, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's your boy Giovanni Tau-Cevallos coming at you guys with another video. You saw the title of today's video. Today we are talking about embracing your struggle, right? So lately I've been going through some struggles. I've been dealing with a lot of things that that anybody could deal with. I'm just dealing with setbacks, with inconveniences, with things that are just kind of making my life a little more stressful or a little more difficult to deal with. The same as I'm sure any of you and anybody else in this world is dealing with. And during this process, I've experienced something that I believe a lot of people experience, which is, lack of faith in myself and in God, doubt in myself and in God. And it's just been a struggle. It's been a back and forth kind of war between myself of, do I have faith in myself to be able to fix the issues at hand? Do I have faith in God that he'll help me or that he'll fix the issues at hand? And, it's been a back and forth war. And the reason it's been like that is because things have gotten bad to the point where I've become desperate. And sometimes when we become desperate because everything feels like it's crashing down on us, we can begin to lose faith. We begin to become doubtful. And I'm guilty of doing it. And I'm the same person who a few videos ago told you guys about about not focusing on the storm around you. Sometimes I forget the things that God teaches me. And, I'm sure some of you sometimes forget the good things that you learn and forget to apply it to your life. And sometimes I have to reteach, even myself. But just to keep everything kind of, vague, life's just been lifing, man. Life's been lifing. Things get hard. Things have gotten difficult. A lot of responsibilities, a lot of obligations, a lot of inconveniences, a lot of setbacks. I'm dealing with the same things that I'm sure a whole bunch of you are dealing with. And like I said, some days I've lost faith and I've doubted myself. I've doubted God. And that's not good, because stressing out, really focusing on the storm around you, really, trying to fight your struggle, it just adds stress. It adds stress. It makes you really believe that, wherever you're at, your situation, your circumstance, whatever you're dealing with, it almost starts to make you believe like this is the end all be all. And that's not true. That's not true. And what I really want to talk about when I say embrace the struggle is this message kind of came from some self-reflection. I was talking to my mom about some of the things I'm dealing with, kind of just letting her know, like, man, it's getting hard. Like, things are like, it's so much happening. I got this right here and I got this right there. And then I got this coming at me from this side, almost like I'm being blindsided left and right. And my mom told me, she said, you keep going through a cycle. She said, because you have too many moments like this where life gets hard. And she's all like, in some moments, your faith is all the way up here. And you believe that God's going to help you. But you believe in yourself that you're going to push through it, that you're going to make it through. And then she's all like, and then when things get really, 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 really hard, she said, your faith drops. Your positivity drops. The way you sink down, she's all like, it's a cycle. She said, God's testing you. And I believe that. When she said that, it gave me a conviction in my spirit. So I did some self-reflecting. I pulled out my journal. I was writing about the cycle. What am I dealing with? What am I going through? How many times have I been in this situation or a similar situation? Because some things may reoccur, different, but the same, if that makes sense. It could be the same type of struggle, but a different situation. And when I was writing down and reflecting, I kind of looked back, and I looked back to moments where everything was crashing down on me, and I believed that that was the end all be all. And as much as I hate to say it, when I lacked faith in myself, when I lacked faith in God, when I believed that where the struggle was that was it for the struggle, that I wasn't bouncing back from that I wasn't escaping it, that it was going to get me. When I believed that that was it, and I was just kind of like acceptant of, what, I can't get out of this. Like, it was almost a negative acceptance that this was it. That's what happened. Everything crashed down on me. And it's almost like my mentality, my disposition, just my being, the way that I was thinking and feeling. It's almost as if I became a magnet for the things that were coming down on me to come crashing down. And that's exactly what happened. But then I started to think, when have I been in a situation like this where everything was crashing down and come back from it? And it took me back a few years ago to a time when I'd lost my job. I wasn't paying insurance on my car. I didn't have insurance. I didn't have any money to re-register my car. I wasn't paying rent at the place I was staying at. And I was missing car payments. I was in a bad situation where I was about to be homeless. And because I was missing car payments, I was about to be carless. And I had no job. So that meant I had no money. And everything was just crashing down. And I remember in the beginning of it, I was just like, oh my God. Like, it's over. Like, it's over. This is it. It's done. It's over. Like, I'm not coming back from this, because I was applying for jobs and I was doing day labor, but I wasn't getting calls back from jobs or emails. And when I did get calls back and emails for interviews, I was never chosen for the interview. And it was just this feeling of rejection and not being able to do the things I needed to do. It made me feel doubtful in myself. It made me feel insecure in myself because I was rejected by jobs. It made me lose faith in myself and lose faith in God in the beginning. But I remember I sunk so low, and all I could hear in my head was, when there's nothing left to do, pray. And it reminded me of when I was a kid. That was all I would do, is pray. So I started praying. And then God kind of showed me, he gave me revelation from the book of Job. He's all like, Job experienced what you're experiencing right now. It's a test of faith. A lot of times things can come crashing down on us. It's a test to show that whether or not we love God, whether or not we trust him with our whole heart, to really, say, God, if everything just falls down, if everything comes crashing down, if I lose everything, Lord, I love you and I still trust you. It's a test, but I'm getting besides myself. I'm getting besides the point. The point is, embrace the struggle. So when I started praying, I was praying for God to help me get out of this. But because I didn't see anything happening, I also just kind of accepted, you know what, Lord, I'm praying to you and things still aren't changing. So it's like, if this is in your will for my life, then I trust you. I trust that if you want me to be homeless, carless, jobless, you've got me still. You'll make the way where there's no way. You'll help me when I need help. And it wasn't until I did that. And yeah, it was like a few more weeks of me just doing day labor, waiting for the repo man to come get my truck, waiting for my time to run out before I was kicked out of my place. It was just a few more weeks of that waiting, and I finally got a job. And when I started my job, my first 3 days on the job, I made what I needed in tips to pay my car payment. And then a few months later, I had enough money to to re-register my car and to get my insurance back. And then I ended up being in a new place, which was better for me. And everything just kind of came together. But it didn't come together until I embraced my struggle and said, you know what, this is where we're at right now. This is where I'm passing through, but this is not the end all be all. This is not the end all be all. It was like convincing myself that I'm going to make it through. Even if it all crashes down and I got to build it back from the ground up, I'm going to make it through. And it was trusting God too, trusting God mainly, and being like, Lord, if you make it crash, I know you will build it back up. It was something like that. But I'm telling you guys this because this is what I've had to reteach myself in these last couple of weeks. That, yeah, I may have a lot of struggles. I may have a lot of things that feel like they're crashing down on me. I may feel like I'm getting suffocated by all these different inconveniences and setbacks, all these different crazy things that keep happening back to back. I may feel that way, but I have to remind myself. I'm reminding myself every day, I'm just passing through. God's got me. God will make the way. If it's in God's will for these things to get the best of me right now, then fine. You know, if it's in God's will for these things to come to pass, for me to not fix the issue, for me to not solve the problem, fine. That's in God's will. I have to be at peace with it. And you guys need to be at peace. Be at peace. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're dealing with, whatever your struggle is, accept it. Don't accept it as the end all be all. Don't accept it as this is my final destination. Accept it as this is my season right now. This is the chapter that I'm in right now. This is the road that I'm walking down right now. And I'm just passing through, but this is not my final destination. Have a mentality of, you know what? I'm going to embrace this. I'm going to accept that this is what's happening. And I'm going to accept that I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm going to accept that God is going to honor that I'm doing the best that I can. And God's going to take care of me regardless of what the end of this situation turns out to be. That is accepting and embracing your struggle. That is embracing your struggle. And it's a wave of peace that comes over you once you do this. I promise you. I don't know who needed to hear this. Somebody needed to hear this. But I know that I needed to share this. So embrace your struggle. Accept the situation. Accept the circumstance. Accept it for what it is, but do not accept it for what it's gonna be. Do not accept it as what it is gonna be. You know, just accept it as the path that you're walking through, as part of the journey, but do not accept it as the destination. Embrace your struggle. Embrace your faith. Embrace your trust in God and even in yourself. Do what you can do. Do your part. As long as you know that you're doing your part, that's all you can do. And if it doesn't work while you're doing your part, be at peace with it. Just accept that you'll come back from this. I promise you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you know somebody that needs to hear this, make sure you share it with them. Make sure you guys also like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.